before you start your internet radio station, you have to know what we're about to talk about. Hi guys, this is Jeremy. Thanks for coming back to Online Broadcast Blueprint. And we're going to talk about the ugly truths of online radio. But not just the ugly truths, we're going to talk about the good stuff too. The pros and cons of running your own internet radio station. Let's start with the positive first, shall we? Okay, so here's the positives. A low startup cost. Okay, do you know how much it actually costs to start I'll say real, you know what I'm talking about when I say real radio station, you know, an AM FM station, millions of dollars. Who's got $1 million hanging around? I mean, you're dealing with the FCC licensing, the cost of a transmitter, super expensive. So the barriers to entry in internet radio are almost non-existent. Super cheap to start internet radio, right? You're maybe in it equipment-wise. You could use a cheap mic, cheap little, you don't even need that. Some type of USB interface for your laptop mic, maybe $150, $200, maybe less to have your own radio station. Crazy. Now, that's not including the cost of your platform. So you got to factor in a platform. You're going to be, depending on what you choose, anywhere from, $50 to a couple $100. Check out the video we just did about licensing, because that's an expense you need to factor in as well. But compared to a regular radio station, way cheaper. That's a big time pro. Another thing, global reach. Yeah, you're online. You can have people all over the place versus the radio station up on the hill at the edge of town that only covers a finite area of 50 miles or whatever, depending on their tower height and their wattage and all of that, right? So you potentially have a much bigger reach. Anyone with internet could hear you. How about this? Flexibility in content. Dude, if it's your station, you can do whatever you want. I mean, you could play nothing but old time radio shows. You could do the fart sound effects, whatever you want. You can do whatever you want on your radio station. It's online. It's not regulated, by the way, by the FCC. Okay. So you don't have to follow a lot of those rules that a terrestrial radio station would have to follow in terms of FCC requirements and that sort of thing. You can do anything you want, talk about anything you want, play whatever you want. Now, remember the licensing piece though. If you're playing licenses illegally, licensed music illegally, yeah, you can get yourself in trouble. Okay, so be careful with that. Also, audience interaction, right? You can actually have very engaged listeners. You can leverage all kinds of tools. You're using social media. You can have a Facebook page, a page on X, Instagram, all TwitFace, all the whatever it is, whatever you can use, whatever social media is out there to promote, to interact. You can set up a free phone number and phone line for your radio station. Did you know you could do that? Yeah, you can do that. That'll be in a upcoming video. And there's opportunities to make money. I've already mentioned my little radio station, Radio Valley, which serves a small community in western Montana and northern Idaho. I make money. Okay, I make several $100s a month. That's my side hustle, right? I'm actually turning a profit. Took me less than a week to not only recoup the amount I was spending each month for my platform, but I went well over that. So it's a nice little side hustle, doing something I love to do. So yes, you can make money, but we got to talk about the cons, the ugly truths about an online radio station. So let's talk through some of those. Technical challenges. Okay. While the cost is relatively low, pretty cheap to get into, it requires a certain level of expertise, right? And in fact, I'll tell you right now, a lot of these guys that do online radio stations, they're a lot smarter than me. And and some of the software that's out there, some of the AI tools. Again, let me refer you to one of my favorite YouTube channels, Radio DJ Dude. He can help you with a lot of that technical stuff. I can't. I'm a dummy, right? But you do need a certain level of technical expertise, and maybe that's a downer. If I can learn the technical stuff, anyone can. Trust me. Okay, so don't let that scare you. But that is one of the cons. There's kind of a technical curve that comes with running an online radio station. Here's a big one, guys. Competition and discoverability, right? I talked about the first station I started, it's basically a classic rock station. Do you know how many classic rock stations there are on internet radio? Probably 14 billion. Okay, there's a bunch. So if you're planning to differentiate yourself based on your music mix, it ain't gonna happen. Okay, and that's not to denigrate any type of music, whatever. I love the classic rock, but if I'm depending on folks listening to my music for classic rock, it ain't gonna happen. Okay, so there's that competition. Tons of competition. Because the barriers to entry are so low, that means anyone and their dog can have an online radio station. And guess what? Anyone and their dog has an online radio station. Lots of competition. So you got to differentiate in other ways. See some of my previous videos, watch some of my future videos. That's what this channel's all about, right? Also discoverability. Because there's so many out there, how do people actually find your station on the interwebs? How does that happen? Well, that could be a challenge. They don't even know they don't even know you exist, right? A big one, we have a whole video about this, licensing and legal considerations, okay? Depending on how you platform your station, licensing could be the most expensive thing you have to mess with, right? You could find a platform like radio.co out of the UK, which is a great platform. I love it. I love those guys, but they don't handle licensing. So if I'm paying even their entry level package, which is like 35 or 40 bucks a month, then I'm probably going to spend at least another 150 bucks a month for my licensing. So now I'm in it almost 200 bucks. Okay. I mentioned Live 365 that I use. They include licensing in their cost. So to me, that's a much better deal, even though feature to feature, I probably like radio.co a little better. But the fact that Live 365 includes licensing, it was worth it to me just to not have to worry with that headache, right? And it's a good platform. No complaints. It's a good platform. So licensing, another con. Revenue generation difficulties. It's hard to make money with internet radio unless you follow my secret tips and tricks. Hence this channel, right? Stay tuned for more of that. Another thing is time commitment. Yeah. This one, is it really a con? Because let's be honest, most of us do internet radio because we like it. It's fun. So any time commitment is probably fun. So is it really a con? Now, it could be a con in terms of you don't get to spend enough time working on your radio station because it does require time. You've got to upload music. You've got to make sweepers. You got to record liners. I mean, yeah, there's a time commitment and a certain amount of time you need to dedicate regularly to keep your station sounding fresh. So that could be viewed as a con. So in conclusion, running an internet radio station is a rewarding thing. You'll enjoy it. There's so much fun about it, but at the same time, you got to be aware of the scary parts, right? The cons, technical challenges, competition, licensing. It's hard to make money and the time commitment involved. So I just want you to go in with your eyes wide open about what you're getting into with internet radio. Now, the good news is there are resources to help you. YouTube's full of a lot of great videos with tips and tricks about equipment. We'll talk about that stuff. And more importantly, I'm going to help you make money on your radio station. Okay? So keep tuning in. We'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.